What is the most embarrassing thing you've ever said to someone you were trying to impress? Story 1. Kissed a girl for the first time when I was 13. Something prompted me to say, average, and she loathed me for the rest of the academic year. Cut to 6 years later, I matched with her on Bumble. We met, we sexted, and she looked me dead in the eye and said, average. She is my best friend now. Reply. We sexted. Let's not make this phrase a thing. Reply 2. Gotta admire the long game on that one. Story 2. When my dad was a kid, he tried to impress an older lady. She had asked him what he was studying, and he confidently told her, Latin. She seemed really impressed by this, so she asked him to speak a bit of Latin to her. He knew one word, and created a bunch of other words around it that sounded Latin-ish. She frowned and told him it was a bad thing to lie. Her job? Latin teacher. Reply. It's pig Latin actually. Reply 2. I speak classical Latin, not the strange dialect you seem to have picked up. Story 3. One day I went to my boss's chamber and saw his arm in a cast. I wanted to say something sympathetic and score some brownie points, but what I said was, Sir, your arm is broken. He looked at me and said, I know. Reply. One of my bosses at an old job had arthritis and was bedridden, so we were signing a sympathy card. I had only been hired for roughly 2 months and barely knew the guy. I wrote, I hope you get better soon. It's arthritis, what was I thinking? Reply 2. I wrote happy birthday on a sorry your dad died card once. It was the first time it wasn't a birthday card going around the office and nobody warned me. Story 4. I did once, truthfully, tell a girl from Austria that I didn't know what the capital of Austria was, which wouldn't be too embarrassing, except that I was wearing a t-shirt which said, Vienna rocks, on it at the time. She thought I was joking. Reply. Everybody thinks it's Melbourne or Sydney, but it's not. It's Canberra. Winking face. Story 5. My university boyfriend invited me to meet his friends at a house party. His friends were known to be quite judgmental and historically not nice to their friends' girlfriends. I was so nervous on the way in the car, so my boyfriend kept telling me to just try and spend some time with a guy called Johann, the nicest one of the bunch. As we pulled up, one of the friends came out to the car and my boyfriend said, That's Johann. Talk to him. I got out, extended my hand, and said, Hi, I'm Johann. There was no way to recover from that. Story 6. First girlfriend, 6th grade, went to the movies. Wanted to hold her hand, terrified, wasn't sure what to do. Started giving her a sales pitch on how awesome my hands were. They're really good at holding stuff, like boxes, or jugs. Was truly thinking of milk jugs. God knows why, but accidentally suggested I could just hold her boobs. It's been more than 20 years and I still think of it regularly. Reply. Giving her a sales pitch on your hands is golden, regardless. Reply 2. These babies have built-in tickle mode straight from the factory. Story 7. I told a musician I liked a specific song. It was not his song. Story 8. Not embarrassing thing said, but when I was first dating my now wife, I set fire to the restaurant and some random guy at the table next to me put it out. So I bought him a drink to say thanks and spilled it on his date. Wanted to die. Reply. At least you didn't set her on fire. Story 9. Trying to lie about my age. Her. You're too young. How old are you? Me. I am. I'm like 20 or 21 I am. As the sentence left my mouth, I realized how ridiculous I had just sounded. For clarification, I was 17 and absolutely hammered at the time. Reply. Character. Dickensian street orphan with uncertain birth date due to lack of parents. Story 10. Was on an airplane years ago with my girlfriend and her parents. My girlfriend couldn't get a seat next to me and sat directly behind me. During the flight, I thought I would surprise her and reached me hand back onto her knee. Slowly I kept extending it up her thigh until I heard giggling. Looked behind through the seats and saw that my hand was on the leg of the guy next to her. He saw my face and said, "I just wanted to see how far you'd go." Of course my girlfriend was in on it and started laughing along with the rest of the row. Was so embarrassed. Reply. The stranger is impervious to awkwardness and cringe. Story 11. I once attempted to impress someone with my extensive knowledge of ancient civilizations, but accidentally referred to the Aztecs as the avocados. Reply. The Aztecs were cut from their homes and mashed and mixed with lime juice, tomato, onion, cilantro, and jalapenos and then eaten with chips. Story 12. Didn't say anything embarrassing, but I liked this Mexican girl in 9th grade and I wanted to ask her out in Spanish. So I had a friend teach me what to say. Which was nice and romantic of me, but the time in which the courage finally hit was the embarrassing part. I hyped myself for an hour and finally decided to ask her during a silent reading time in class. Not sure why that was when I thought I'd do it. Just walked up to her desk and asked her and she just kinda awkwardly giggled and everyone was staring at me wondering how the fuck I knew Spanish. Courage depleted and I walked back to my desk. We ended up sort of going out for a few days, but the only way we communicated was through Google Translate on our phones. It was pretty fucking stupid, but a lot of high school relationships are. Story 13. I was a grown-ass adult in China when I met a couple of Russian girls at the bus stop. I took Russian for 2 years in college, and this particular bus only comes once every hour. They know English, but I want to flex and I'm nervous. I spend like 10 minutes working up the nerve and I only manage to ask where's the bathroom in Russian. They don't know. I walk away in shame and sit in a McDonald's to wait for the bus after that. Reply. Did you get anything good at McDonald's to eat though? Story 14. Was sat round a campfire at a festival with a few friends and some random women that had joined us. Everyone was drinking, talking and having a good time. One of the women got up and said to her friends, "I'm gonna go and grab something from the tent, you coming?" One friend replied, "Nah, I'm gonna stay here and get fucked." My drunken stupid ass took it wrong and blurted out, "I'll fuck ya." She looks a bit shocked and goes, "That's not really what I meant, but thanks I guess." She meant get fucked up on booze and I still cringe about it almost 30 years later. Reply. Thanks I guess, that cuts deep. Reply 2. Out for work lunch, gets a bit boozy. Girl I fancy in another team is sitting across from me, there's about 4 to 5 of us in the conversation. She's recently broken up from a long-term relationship, and says something along the lines of, "What I really miss from living with my boyfriend is just the spontaneous sex. Haven't had sex in like a month now." So, having had a few beers and a couple of glasses of wine, I pipe up, "I'll help you with that if you like. I'm free this evening, actually." Dead silence. I try to laugh it off as a joke. Does not work. Cringe. Reply 3. To be fair, I think her comment was also awkward. Story 15. I had a crush on the receptionist at my college's gym. One night when I was the last one in there, I got nervous making small talk and offered to help her clean up before she closed the gym, and it immediately thought to myself, "Wow, you sound like a fucking serial killer." She actually got the vacuum out for me and proceeded to talk about her boyfriend. At the end of the day, not mad since I did something nice for someone lol. Reply. A powerful strategic move on her part. I respect that. Take the help cleaning up but immediate deflection into the boyfriend to not get your hopes up. Reply 2. The vacuum zone. Story 16. Not trying to date someone, but my first job interview, I got a question that was, "Describe yourself in 3 words." My ass literally said, "Lazy." Somehow still got the job. Reply. Always have a lazy person on staff. They'll find the quickest and easiest way to do a task. Story 17. I didn't say anything. When I get nervous, I tend to burp a tiny bit uncontrollably. I burped in my manager's face. Reply. This show of dominance works best with prolonged eye contact. Story 18. Was wrestling with a friend and we fell on and broke a foosball table. My crush walked in the room and I said with a stupid smile, I did that shit. She left without a word. Reply. That could be you. Broken. Story 19. We met a girl and went to dinner at a cafe. During the conversation, a bet arose, and I said that I could eat everything on the menu of the establishment. Half an hour later, I destroyed the toilet. She successfully escaped, but I won the bet. Reply. She escaped because she was fearful she was next. Story 20. While on a semi-date, said I was Presbyterian when asked if I ate fish. He looked confused. I meant to say pescatarian. Story 21. You've got beautiful eyes. Thank you. I grew them myself. It was this cute guy working at the bank trying to help me with my account. I heard this somewhere and for some reason this was the only thing I could think of because I was incredibly shy back then, especially when it came to any male attention. I still remember his face dropping. Story 22. I approached a girl sitting in a canteen, asked if I could join her, and after some talk, I asked her if she wants to eat anything and she said yes, anything of your choice. I bought her sandwich and as we were eating and to continue the conversation I asked her name and she in very cute voice told her name. Her and my sister's name were same, so I told her about it and the reply I got was out of the world. She said, I am also like a sister to you. That was a KO. Hey, stop. You're pretty cool. Subscribe. Yo.